I finished Iron Sights. I finished it last night. I actually read it all in one sitting. And this is going to be my review. Now, this is, I will say, this is the first graphic novel I've actually ever read. To clarify that, I mean as in one full complete story, beginning to end. I did read Death Note Volume 1, but I don't consider it reading the whole graphic novel because there's like 6 volumes, so I haven't read the whole story. And I started reading on a trip I just recently went on the plane. I was reading Batman Hush, and I haven't completed it yet. So Iron Sights will be, or is, the first graphic novel I have ever read. So this review is coming from somebody who literally has never read a graphic novel before. And these are my thoughts on this book. So let's get started here. If you need to know, this brand is from when I was at Phoenix Comic Con just this past weekend. It was actually a really good con. Really cool. There's a lot of cool people there. Met Billy Tucci over there. If you guys know him, he's kind of been in the Twitter disputes as of recently. And also go check out his book Zombie Sama. It's actually really cool. Anyway, here is the book Iron Sights. The cover, really cool. I'm gonna treat this bad because that's what it needs to be. This book is like well, let's just get into it. Okay, so it starts off pretty it starts off really just making its position clear. This book is just grungy. It's grimy. It reminds me of like a grindhouse film, just like by Robert Rodriguez or Quentin Tarantino or something. It's just very just gritty, and it's no nonsense. This is the story. It's going to offend you or whatever. It doesn't care. It is what it is. Take it or leave it. It doesn't care. Throw it on the ground. It doesn't care. It is what's that? Honey Badger don't care. So if you remember that meme. So it starts off with the accountant. And this accountant actually plays a pretty big role. This is my first comic review, so I'm not sure how really to review a comic. I've watched a lot of comic review channels, but once you start doing it, you just really don't know how to really do it yourself until you do a little bit more. Again, it starts off where we meet Ramadi. This is the kind of big antagonist right here, the corporation, or not corporation, this gangster mafia Mexican cartel. And we quickly get introduced to our main guy, which is Ramadi, and this is going to be his story. And then we get followed up by meeting Woods, who basically is not a cool guy. I mean, he's a cool guy, but he's not a good guy. I mean, right here, this guy pulls up and he's like, hey, are you American? Yep. You going to the border crossing? That's right. Me too, hop in. What do I get out of it? Oh, ride? What's in it for you? I might be a tiny bit high. I need you to drive. I'm not carrying. You can check. We can say you're like my stepdad or something. Sound good? F off. And whatever, dude. Enjoy walking. And he leaves him in the dust. He's like, fag, a kilo of cocaine, felony intent to distribute, 5 years incarceration. Because just when this car was passing by, I dropped out a kilo of cocaine, and he throws it into this guy's car. So Woods is not a cool guy. He's not a good guy. He is a cool guy. He's not a good guy. So this is where the story gets set up right here, where Ramadi basically is saving Esme. I think her name was Esme. And Esme right there. So he basically sees that she is going to be killed by this group of thugs, this cartel. There's that accountant guy. And he just basically go ahead and takes matters into his own hands and starts popping off a few guys. And so let's go ahead again. This is my first review, so I don't want to reveal too much. I don't think I have revealed too much. I mean, I think Zach actually did a whole video where he reads the first chapter, so I don't think I'm doing anything too out of the blue right here. So we see Ramadi realizes what he's done, and this book, it has a lot of swearing in it, just so you know. It has a lot of swearing in it, a lot of slurs, and where there are some books out there where it just feels forced. It's like they're just cussing to cuss and they don't need to. You do realize they're kind of just swearing to swear, but it doesn't feel forced. It just feels natural. I mean, it really feels like this is just who they are. They're all just grungy people, and that's just how they talk. That's their life and what they do. So it never feels forced, and you just start expecting it as you're reading, which so it doesn't interfere with the story at all. Overall, it really sets it up nice. I mean, you start getting introduced to different characters, like Conway here, who is kind of in the, I can't remember what it's called, the federal law enforcement. So I can't remember exactly what he is, but basically he works down at the border in the federal law enforcement. And so he is friends with Ramadi. I sound like I haven't even read this book. I read it all last night. And this is where Ramadi meets Woods. So it sets it all up pretty quick. It is very fast paced. Like, you read like from here to that's that big controversy, the arroz con leche debacle. If you were following this on Twitter at all, you definitely will remember that, the arroz con leche, and the big spat over that being wrong and trying to nullify the whole book in its entirety because of that little line there. And you do actually see in this book where Ebai Canales, his art does actually get better as he draws this whole thing. And that's kind of funny. I wonder if that was actually unfinished, because that looks like a rough sketch still. That doesn't look finished. Where you see these other ones are shading, they look a little more fleshed out, where this just looks rough. I mean, look at his gun. It's just like, it looks scribbled in like it's a rough sketch. Anyway, so yeah, by the end of it, like not to give too much away, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything there. You can really see how his art definitely improves, like just the fleshing out of the characters, all of that. It starts looking really more professional. So going through it, like I said, the book moves really fast, and like you just read go 4 more pages and you are reading a whole new story, like not a whole new story, but a whole new sequence. Like, here they're talking, and boom, I go 6 pages and there's a firefight. I go a little bit more and hospital setting, and Woods has a gun and he's sniping. What is he doing? So it moves very fast, which is really nice when you're reading, because like I said, I read this all in one night. Usually, I mean, I take I take days to read something. I don't read something in one sitting. I'll read a comic book, and sometimes like a 32-page comic book, and sometimes I'll read it, half of it one day and half of it the next day, because most of the time I'm kind of just bored. But with the comic book, whereas this is just very entertaining, and you just can't stop reading. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Like, this book is just really good. I'm very excited for Ironsights 2. However, there are things that happen in this book where I'm just like with certain characters, and I was like, why did that have to happen? What was the point of that? Like, especially if there's an Ironsights 2, like, I was really disappointed with certain decisions that were made when it comes to certain characters. I really wish it would have taken another turn, because it builds so much on this story that I feel like Ironsights 2, I mean, it's definitely it definitely leaves on, I wouldn't say a cliffhanger, but a pickup point for the next book. But I just wish there were certain things that could have happened to be in the next Ironsights that basically kind of get wrapped up here, that I wish kind of could have carried on. I don't want to give spoilers away, and because this is a great book and it deserves to be read. And like this scene here, this is where Abaya Canales really shines with his action sequences. So here's Ramadi, and they're being shot at. Ramadi is with Conway here, and like this is especially right here. This is really good. They're in, and they're trying to get to this truck here. I think it's in the next page over. Anyway, they're trying to get to this truck, but this guy over here is shooting at them and waiting for them to leave the hut, or I wouldn't say a hut, but the building, to get to the truck. And when they do that, he's going to shoot them midway. So they realize they're pinned down. So they have to move the file cabinet to make more cover to get to the distance to the truck. And just look at this, just like the action lines, the speed lines, and like the expressions. Like, you can tell that, I mean, it just looks like he's just ready to just lay into them with all the gunpowder and fury that he has behind him. And here, like, look at this expression. Like, you can just see him just yelling and just wincing and just get out there, and he's just hell bent on getting to that truck. And then boom, you just see the speed lines, and it's just you can feel the intensity of the situation right there, and it's really cool. Abaya Canales does a really good job just capturing that intensity, where like you just, in some comics you don't get that, even if it's potentially as intense or as seen as this. You just don't, like, it can be a flat angle. Like, you would see the truck here, and then the side view of him running to the truck, and whereas this is, you get this back angle from him, and you see the goal point, and see him, and you know there's going to be bullets coming in from the side, like that. You feel the intensity, which is really cool. I mean, just this whole action sequence right here, and then boom, the truck tilted over, and the guns blazing, and wham, and windshield or back shield, whatever you call the back window, just bursting. It really just has an intensity that you feel when you're reading the book. And look, this is how the pacing is set. I'm in. Boom, boom, arg, go. Vroom, wham, panicky, finish him off up close. Boom, 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 boom. I'm done with that. Like, that's how an action sequences should be. It should be very fast paced. Like, not, I'm gonna get over here. This guy's gonna die. Or, go. Why are you stopping? You need to keep going. If this guy moves his wheels one more time, it shouldn't be slow. This is an action sequence. This is a firefight. Firefights are quick. They're you don't. It's a fog. You just go through it. You don't think. You are operating on mechanics. I think Woods is a vet in the story, and I know Ramadi is. So yeah, this should just be very chaotic, very I wouldn't say chaotic, but very just boom, 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 boom. Get that pacing going, and that's what this does. That's a pacing. Boom, boom, and boom. Like, it just goes and goes. And throughout the whole book, like, that's one thing, like, that's really nice is, like, the wording is not much. There are a few longer bubbles, but it's all, every single word is necessary. There's no pontificating or extemporaneous speaking where it's just senseless droves of words that mean nothing, or over explaining it. There's no pontificating or extemporaneous speaking. It's everything is, each word is made to have a specific point, and that is to move the story along, because nobody wants to read a comic like a novel. Like, nobody. People want to read a comic to enjoy it, and for it to be quick, and for it to be entertaining. That's what a comic is meant to be, not a long, drawn-out novel. Nobody wants that. Nobody. People read comics because they want pictures. They want entertainment. They want to be drawn in. Like, why is this guy covered in whatever that is? Like, that's the point of comics. Is a visual medium. I don't want to be told he got punched in the face. I want to be shown that he got punched in the face. And even more so, he got punched in the face so hard his tooth fell out. So, I don't want to give too much more away. Again, this is like, I mean, just look, there is literally no words right here because it's a fight scene. Boom, 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 boom. Next page. Boom, 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 boom. Next page. Boom, 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 boom. It's just quick. Like, that's why you fly through this comic book, because it's an action grindhouse border flick that is meant to just give you visual cues that you know what's going on. You don't need words. Like, it's shown, it's graphic, it's just boom, right there. So this book, for my first graphic novel that I've ever read, it's cool. I love it. I think others will live up to it, and I don't think that there are others out there that do live up to this. And this is a great, fun read that I really enjoyed. It literally, I read it at like 1 a.m. last night. And usually when I'm reading, like I would read Savage Wolverine by Frank Cho, from like 2006, I think it was. And I would fall asleep while I was reading that. And it's Savage Wolverine. It's in the Savage Land with Wolverine and I think I don't remember it's a beautiful chick with him. I don't remember her name right off the hand. But it shouldn't put me to sleep. I read this book at 1 a.m. I didn't finish it till like 1:40, and I never got tired. because this book kept me awake. Because when you're able to just go through pages, you feel like you're making progress, and you're like, wow, I'm almost done, and you're making progress. Anyway, I'm going on and on about this. Great book. I'm pretty sure in future Indiegogos he will offer this again. Get it. Get this book. Great book. Totally does what it's meant to do and gives you a great just grindhouse ride of violence and bad dudes and kind of good people. That it's just a really fun book. So go out and get it when it becomes available again, which it will. So when it does, make sure you get it. That is my review on Iron Sights. Again, really liked it. If you like this video, please subscribe. Please like the video as well, and join me on the next one, where I will do another video on, I don't know, but I think I might be doing the Terminator Dark Fate trailer that just came out. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and subscribe.